Hey, what's up, guys? This is Benny Ricciardi with rotocurve.com, and I'm here with our DraftKings NBA target videos for Friday, March 4th. The idea of the target videos is to take a look at the slate and talk about some of the guys who we like that we think are going to be guys that we're going to use as the core when we're building out our rosters. There are 4 guys who we're going to talk about today, so let's call up the slideshow and get right into it. The 4 guys that we're looking at are Brook Lopez at 7,400, D'Angelo Russell at 6,300, Alex Len at 5,700, and Julius Randle at 5,900. The first guy up is Brook Lopez. He's in a good 208 total game against the Denver Nuggets. Denver struggles to defend opposing centers, and this game is going to be a paced-up game for the Nets. Lopez has gone 5x or better in 5 of his last 7 games, which gives him the safety that you can, reasonably expect him to give you a solid return today in your cash games. And in 4 of those 7 games, he has gone 6x or better, which is what we're really looking for in the tournament. So in more than half of his last 7 games, he's given you 6x or better upside that made him a really solid tournament play. Lopez has a huge 29.8% usage rate. It's the most of any center on the board today by far, and puts him like 10th or 11th overall for usage rate of anybody at any position. He's by far the highest usage rate center, and we've seen that, and you can even tell just by watching the games that since Jarrett Jack has been out and since they got rid of Joe Johnson, the offense really runs through Brook Lopez. They dump the ball down inside and kind of work inside out, as opposed to a lot of other teams to kind of work outside in. He's averaging over 20 points and 8 rebounds in his recent games lately, and at a price of only $7,400, 20 points and 8 rebounds by itself gives him somewhere in a range of 32 to 33 fantasy points. We really need to get about 40 out of him to give us the upside that we're looking for in a tournament, probably about 36 or 37 to give us what we need in a cash game. If he goes 20 and 8, that's going to be 32 points all by itself right there. If he adds in a block or a steal, if he throws in the 2 or 3 assists we've been seeing him get every couple games, he's going to be right there with the value you need for cash. And a good matchup here against the Nuggets in a high total game. He also has the chance to go for an upside game. We've seen him score 30. We've seen him put up 12 to 15 rebounds. If he gives you a game of 30 and 12, he's going to give you a 50 fantasy point performance and be a guy who can give you a 7x return. The next guy we're going to talk about is D'Angelo Russell at 6,300. It's a 207 total versus the Hawks for him, but they are a 10-point underdog with his Laker team. Now, we know that Lou Williams is definitely out, and Kobe Bryant and Jordan Clarkson are both questionable for this game as well. If there's no Lou Williams, no Kobe, no Clarkson, that would open up a ton of minutes and a ton of shots for D'Angelo Russell. He's gone 5x or better in 8 of his last 9 games and 6x or better in each of the last 4. He's averaging about 33 minutes per game, and he's putting up 30 to 40 fantasy points with those minutes, including an upside game that was close to 50 about 2 games back. As long as the management is telling Byron Scott that he has to play D'Angelo Russell, we're going to see some better numbers out of this guy going forward. And as long as all those guys are hurt, or even some of them being out, it means that we are going to see those 30, 35 minutes out of D'Angelo Russell. And when he sees 30, 35 minutes, he scores 30 to 40 fantasy points, which is exactly what we need out of him for 6,300. Next guy I want to talk about is another young guy who's seen a lot more minutes, and that's Alex Len. He's 5,700, plays in a game with a big 213 total, but his team is a 13-point underdog, although we've seen them be big underdogs basically every game that they've run out there lately. So it's not anything that's surprising or going to shock me. He still put up some pretty good numbers, even with his team being a big underdog, because as a young guy towards the end of the season, they're really trying to let him play so he develops and they see what they have in him. Orlando is a team that actually struggles to guard the center spot, so it's not a horrible matchup for Alex Len. And he's gone 5x or better in 7 of his last 10 games, which includes every single game where he's played at least 20 minutes. Now, the last couple games, he's actually been playing over 30 minutes right now. Last 3 in particular, he's averaging 35 minutes with a floor of 32 fantasy points. We saw him put up 32, 35, and 50 fantasy points in the last 3 games that he's played, where he's played at least 30 minutes. So I think he does see another 30 minutes here. And if he does see those 30 minutes, I think he's going to give us 30 to 40 fantasy points and give us the upside that we need, even at that $5,700 price tag, as this price has been slowly creeping up. The last guy we're going to talk about here is Julius Randle at 5,900. He's in that same game as D'Angelo Russell against the Atlanta Hawks with the 207 total. Injuries to the scorers like Kobe, Lou Williams, and Clarkson also mean that they're going to be looking for guys that can score like Julius Randle to do a little more for this offense. If you take a look on StatMuse, his usage and his points per minute go up anytime that Kobe doesn't play. And I can only assume that without Kobe, Clarkson, and Lou Williams, which is a real possibility today, it would only help his usage and points per minute go up even more. Now, he's been at a floor of 4.5x or above in 21 of his last 24 games. So he's very cash game safe, a guy that worst case scenario is not going to kill you. And he does have that upside in this matchup today if he's going to be seeing some extra minutes. He's had double-doubles in 11 of his last 17 games. So this is easily a guy, if he gets even a minimum double-double of 10 and 10, that's still worth about 26 or 27 fantasy points for you. And he doesn't usually get you the minimum double-double. He'll put up 14 to 16 points, 10 to 12 rebounds, and easily get himself to the 30 to 35 fantasy point range, if not higher, which is exactly where we would need him to be for a price of $5,900 today. As you know, we like to take advantage of situations where there are multiple guys injured, and that Los Angeles team is definitely one of those situations today. So that's why we have both Russell and Julius Randle in there, because I think that both of those guys are going to have to pick up a little bit of the offensive slack. So that rounds it up today for our DraftKings Plays video. Those are 4 guys who you're going to see on a lot of our lineups today. The price has come up a little on Russell and Len, but I still think they're in good territory. The price has come down a little bit on Brook Lopez and Julius Randle, which only makes me like them both a little bit more. I think these 4 guys are going to be a big part of the core of a lot of rosters that I build. And with a couple of them being in that 5 or 6K range right there, they're all pretty reasonably priced. Those 4 guys right there only take up about $2,500 of your salary and still leave you the other $2,500 to figure out how you want to spend it on the other 4 positions that you need to fill out. So that wraps it up here today. Thank you guys for joining us at rotocurve.com. Make sure to get over to Twitter. You can follow us at rotocurve. You can follow me at BennyR11. Get over to the RotoCurve website and sign up for a free account. There's always people in chat, to bounce some ideas off of when it comes to NBA DFS. And also that's where you'll be able to find all the videos, the show, The Pivot, which will be coming on tonight. Guys like Josh Kalachi, Ricky Sanders, Nick Menzio. Those guys do a really good job of breaking down the slate every night. I'll actually probably be joining them tonight, so it'll be my debut on the Pivot. We also want to wish Jimmy, one of our other contributors, congratulations on the birth of his child. That's actually why he wasn't on the show Wednesday, and while I'll be filling in for him tonight, I'm sure in another couple of days he'll be back, so you'll be able to hear his analysis as well. But for now, we just want to wish him and his family congratulations and safe recovery for mom and baby, and hopefully they'll be home and in their own house in a couple days, because having 3 kids myself, I know how much it stinks when you're stuck in a hospital for an entire week. So congrats, Jim, and thank you everybody for joining us. As always, stay classy, DFS.